Hey guys, it's Peter Bouchers here at Stunning NG Homes at EXP Realty. Today I wanted to talk about seller concession or seller contribution or seller credit, or whichever way you call it. So the way this works is you offer an amount to a seller, and what you do is you get some credit back to help with your closing cost. Now there are advantages and disadvantages to that, to both the buyer and the seller. The advantages to the buyer is that they don't have to come up with a large down payment or a large closing cost to close on a house. Let's use a $300,000 offer, for example. If they ask for a $10,000 seller concession, so the seller will end up getting $290, and $10,000 will be going towards the closing cost to help the buyer close on the house. Obviously, you know, there's a big advantage to the buyer that they don't have to come up with a large sum to close. Now the disadvantage to the buyer is that they have to actually finance that amount over 30 years, and then they actually end up paying a little bit more than $10,000. So if you are financing $10,000, let's say at a 4% interest rate, that amount is going to result in an extra $47 a month, monthly, to add it to your mortgage payment. And then at the end of the loan, you're actually going to be paying an extra $7,000. So that $10,000 is going to be $17,000 at the end of a 30-year mortgage. Most people don't really stay for 30 years at the house. They end up refinancing or they end up selling. A disadvantage also to a buyer is that when you are in a multiple offer scenario, you might be at a disadvantage because your offer looks weaker, because now the seller has to accept $10,000 less than the offer amount, because he's crediting you that amount back at closing. He's not really crediting it to you. I mean, you're financing it, but what it means is that the house has to appraise at $300 in order for this whole offer to work, but the seller is only gonna get $290. So that alone can risk the appraisal, which the seller might not like. Now the advantage to the seller, if the property's been on the market for a while, that could be a great way to offload the property to a buyer that's seeking help with the closing cost. The disadvantage to the seller is that the buyer is really borrowing equity from their home in order to close on a property, and that can risk the deal falling through the contract if the appraisal doesn't come up at the appraised amount. So the buyer can offer an extra $10,000. So like if the seller is looking for $300, the buyer can offer $310, for example, and then that $10,000 will be credited to the buyer at closing for closing cost, but the house still has to appraise at the $310 level. Now, having a great agent on your side can definitely help you when it comes to both scenarios. So if I'm representing the buyer, I would definitely talk to the listing agent to see if there are any other offers on a property. If there is, maybe the seller concession is not the best option for the buyer at this point. But if there isn't, then the buyer may have a chance. Same thing when I'm representing a seller, I would have to really vet, the mortgage company, see if this buyer has been approved and what their approval process is. Either way, guys, make sure that you have the right agent on your side. I would love to help. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Stunning NG Homes, and you could reach me on my cell 201-888-4908. Take care. Have a nice day.